evening, Ms. Jemima, and I'm delighted to be your host for today's corporate hangout. Thank you so much for joining us. We are about to take off. If you know anyone who's yet to join, you can kindly message or call the person to join us. I believe this is going to be a very interesting session today, and I don't think to miss it. First on our agenda, we have introductory remarks by our Assistant National Organizer, Madam Amanda Akushi. Amanda, you have the virtual stage. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening once again, and I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you're audible.
I hope we all had a great week and a great day today. I welcome you all to our last corporate hangout, and I'll advise that we all enjoy it, participate fully, and wait till the end as we have some special announcements to give you. So all I'll say is enjoy today's hangout being the last corporate hangout, and feel free to share your feedback. Feel free to let us know how it goes. And I'll say thank you to everybody for staying through with us from when we launched this association until now. We appreciate everybody and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Next, we are going to have our CX word for the day. I don't know how many of us remember what we did last month. Last month, we had a phrase, on demand. I'm interested in knowing what we have in store for today. To present our CX word for the day, we have Madam Loretta Emisa. Loretta is an HR professional with 10 years experience in banking. She holds an MBA in Human Resource Management from the University of Ghana Business School. When asked what drives her, Loretta explains that her need to add tangible value wherever she finds herself. I must say that is inspiring. Loretta is currently working with Republic Bank. She loves art and enjoys creating things with her hands. She sews, makes hampers and floral arrangements in her free time. I believe she will have some good news for us this Christmas. So please see her after this hangout. Loretta, over to you. Is Loretta on the call? Okay, whilst we wait for Loretta, let me just share something. I came across a video by Mr. John Maxwell. I don't know how many of us have heard of him. He's a renowned author, a pastor, and a motivational speaker. Mr. Maxwell said he evolved from having a goal mindset to having a growth mindset. That is from GOAL to GROWTH. And previously, he thought that, he got to know that reading an hour every day on one particular subject makes you an expert in that subject within a 5-year period. But at a point, instead of asking himself, well, when am I going to finish? 4 years to go, 3 years to go, 2 years to go. At a point, he actually started asking himself, how far can I really go? And I believe as customer experience professionals, in our growth journey, we need to ask ourselves, how far can we really go? And our being here tonight, I believe it's an opportunity to grow once again. So let's seize the opportunity. Let's all be attentive, invite someone, call someone, WhatsApp someone. And I believe that we will not be disappointed. I don't know if Loretta is on now. Can someone please confirm? Okay. I think Loretta is on. So Loretta, please take over our CX word for today. Thank you.
Hi, Jemima. Loretta will join us shortly. She's having issue with her speaker, but she'll join us shortly.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you so much. I thought I got a thumbs up sign, so I thought she was.
Yeah, so she will join just in like a minute. She's already on, but her speaker is not picking.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So just wait for Loretta. Like I was saying, I don't know how many of us have heard about Mr. John Maxwell, but I believe that it's important to have this kind of mindset, always thinking, always growing, always seizing the opportunity. Okay, so Loretta is ready.
Sorry, Loretta, we are unable to hear what you're saying.
Okay, looks like Loretta is having one or two technical issues. So we'll wait for her. And whilst we wait, I'd like to share another quote by Mr. Vince Lombardi. He says, it takes months to find a customer, but only seconds to lose one. I believe that shows how important customer experience is and how relevant it is to continually grow and continually improve ourselves and try and satisfy our customers' needs, try and satisfy them during every single interaction we have with them. And now with the internet, another professional quote said and said that, remember that your competitor is just a click away. Now with the internet, it's so easy to either gain a customer or lose one permanently with just a single mouse click. Loretta is still having issues with her mic.
Hi, Jemima.
Yes.
Okay, so perhaps I can step in for Loretta.
Okay, that's fine.
So whilst Loretta tries, I'm sure Loretta will give us an in-depth understanding later on. So Loretta, if you can project the slides for me to speak to it. However, value proposition, I'm sure all of us have heard of value proposition one way or the other. And that's what we want to focus on today. Now, basically, we don't want to give you a textbook definition, right? What we want to do is to give you the basic elements of what constitutes a value proposition. Now, you need to have an offering, right? And the offering is the what of the situation, so the product or the service. The other thing is to have an audience. So who is going to benefit from what you are offering? So that is the other element. Then the next one is value. Okay, now that is the value is the benefit that matters to the customer, the most to the customer, because obviously I am coming to you for a service for a reason. All right. And then the next one is differentiator. What makes you different from the others? What makes you stand out from the others? And that's the differentiator. And those are the basic elements of value proposition. Now let's take the customer profile, because you need to understand that so that you can understand value proposition in a better way. If the customer is looking for gain, first of all, the customer, there's the job, there's what you need to do for the customer, what the customer is looking for. what the customer wants from you. And that's basically in the product design, how you have done your services to be rendered, how your products has been designed. Basically, that is the customer job for you. Then the customer may have pains. So if the customer has, hello, Loretta. Okay. So if the customer has pains, you also need to put in measures to address those pains. So let's take, for instance, somebody who wants to open an account with us, right? If the customer wants to open an account, that is the job that they want from you. However, is it that it is cumbersome for them to actually open the account? That becomes the pains. And then the gains are the benefits they get from it. So how easy is it? Do they actually get what they wanted? Was it easy for them to do it? That's the gains. Now, in the value proposition, when you're comparing it, now what happens is you have to think for the customer. First of all, design for the customer to be in your mind. So the customers are at the center of the design. And then you're also thinking the challenges that the customer has, have you been able to solve that before they even have it? And then what can you do for the customer to even enjoy the service better? All these things now become your value proposition. So if Jemima has a company, their value proposition includes all of these things, making sure that they stand out. This is what they are proposing to the customer. This is what they are saying the customer is going to get, the value the customer is going to get from engaging them or accessing their services, products and services. So that's basically value proposition. And it's usually, especially in customer experience, it centers around the customer. So you know what you're giving the customer. I think that should be it. I'm sure everybody understands it. Loretta, at the end of the session, probably would put a twist to it because that is her schedule. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yvonne, for saving the day. And we are hoping that Loretta can still give us more information later on when her mic starts working. Next on our agenda for today, we have a very important person in our midst. Her name is Madam Debbie Aquara. Madam Debbie she's the leading CX entrepreneur and educator in Africa. She is the founder and CEO at Niche Customer Experience Group, West Africa's first boutique customer experience management solution and training provider. Prior to Niche, she led CX success in the banking, telecommunications, and education sectors. CX successes recorded were an increase in product adoption by whooping 2,567%, industry customer service ranking by 18.7%, and revenue generation from CX of up to 300 million naira. As an advocate for CX education in Africa, Debbie, via Niche Institute of CX and Innovation, launched Africa's first globally recognized CX certification courses in partnership with the Institute of Customer Management, UK. The courses are a trio of certifications for business managers, CCEM, leaders, CCEP, and CX-related consultants, CCEPR. Debbie is on a mission to grow businesses one customer experience at a time across Africa, and also to build the customer experience management capabilities of the professionals we have in Africa that will drive a realistic practice of CEM to increase profitability. In 2020 and 2021, Debbie was recognized as a top 50 global CX thought leader and influencer. She is an author, a mom, humanitarian, and is always looking for new opportunities to learn about CX, to connect with professionals, and to impact the practice of customer experience management in Africa and globally. I believe we have someone with a wealth of experience. And I don't know about you, but I have my pen and my notepad ready to take down notes. And I welcome to the virtual stage, Madam Debbie Aquara. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. It's like I think we are one hour ahead of you, I guess. If I get it right, yeah. But it's great to be here. Great to be here. Thank you. Great work you're doing, kicking off the Customer Experience Professional Associations. Congratulations on your launch. I've been following your pictures and posts on LinkedIn. Well done to everyone. I greatly admire the team effort that is being put in, and just listening to this hangout so far, it just goes to show there's a lot of teamwork here. So congratulations and well done. I'll just share my screen now. Did I share that? So please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can, Debbie.
Right. So I've been given a topic to speak on, which is driving a customer-centric culture to deliver customer experience. And I thought this was, a really interesting topic because one of the things that I like to do is I like to play on, I'm a very practical person. So whenever I get to speak, I am always looking for case studies to share, yes, share the context of my thoughts from a thought leadership perspective, but also share in very practical terms how this has worked out in a real life scenario. So that's my approach to my presentation today. So in line, I'm going to do this from three different angles, right? From three angles. So the first is I would share with you my take on why customer centricity initiatives fail. If you Google, if you check the hashtag customer centricity on LinkedIn, you will see the number of times it has been mentioned. It's a word that we throw around every once in a while. Those of us who are in customer service, customer success, customer relationship management, customer value management, or customer experience. We talk about it a lot, right? Talk about culture and culture. But I'm going to share with you my thoughts on why customer centricity initiatives fail. And I would share with you a case study of how just leveraging, working from a business goal perspective to leveraging customer centricity to drive CX. And this experience I'm going to share with you was my time in the banking sector. And then I would leave you today with my thoughts on some tips to help you drive. And they're not just tips that I just came up with randomly, right? There are things that I used while as a CX professional, and there are things that tips I use now as a CX practitioner running a customer experience and consultancy. So they've already shared about me. I'm just going to skip this and go right to it. So if you think about customer centricity, there are a lot of times you have at the beginning of the year, there's a common thread this year. Let me assume we're now in 2022, right? So this year, 2022, the customer will be first. Everything is about the customer. The buzzwords go everywhere. In some cases, screensavers come on. There's so much activity. Come up with initiatives and things that you want to do to make sure customer is up front and center. I've seen cases where you have screensavers on everybody's desktop with something fancy about customer experience or customer service or about the customer. I've seen roll-up banners. I've seen people wear T-shirts, face caps. I've seen all sorts, right? Seen and also designed and implemented, okay? But at the end of the day, why does it fail? Because it's driving centricity. It's not exactly cheap. So why does it fail? And these are just my thoughts on why. So number one is don't fix what's not broken. If your organization has grown from startup phase and now has a database of over 20, 30 million customers, it's hard for you to have a conversation around customer centricity because what are you saying? We've gone from 0 to 20 million. So, I mean, obviously we're doing something right. So why fix what's not broken? We've done this before where it's working for us. Let's hold on to it. But it doesn't mean that the customer is at the center. So living in that bubble is always one major reason why initiatives in line with customer centricity fail. The second reason why customer centricity initiatives fail is the lack of and uncommitted leaders. Now you come up with, and I've seen this happen so many times, you come up with, and I'm going to share my take on customer experience standards. You come up with standards, you come up with ideas, initiatives, and the big bosses at the top, they don't comply. They don't comply. They do they're still in their own bubble. They're holding on to who they are and who they've always been. They don't comply to those initiatives. If initiatives have required a change in policy or process, or the mode of communication or employee engagement, they don't commit to it. After like the first, second time, they just move on to doing what they've always done. The third reason why customer centric initiatives fail is there's no voice of the customer in it, in the mix. It's all about, and this happens every single time, where if I was to throw in this conversation we're having, if I was to throw in a business problem, everybody will start coming up with ideas. It happens every time. But then these ideas are coming from who and why? So a lot of times we just sit back, and I'm also guilty of this in my time in paid employment across 3 different sectors. Well, I guess banking was where I made the most mistakes, but I kind of fixed it when I got to telecommunication and education. We just have ideas in our head about what centricity should mean and run with it. There is no outside in perspective. So at the end of the day, you're chasing one customer centricity goal, and then the customers, your external customers, require something else. So there's that gap. The fourth reason why customer centricity initiatives fail is silos. Silos. Everybody doing their own thing. You have influencers in different departments. You have untouchables, right? Like typically in banking, the marketing department, they're untouchables, and they're doing their own thing. So what are you going to tell them? Like it's quite common. And I probably also needed to add something around hierarchy. This is Africa. So I know, yes, there's a tend to be that informal push, but the truth is the open door policy is also in question. So you can't exactly push beyond a certain level, beyond your designation. So in Nigeria, we call it Oga at the top, right? So you respect yourself and respect your level. Another reason why customer centricity initiatives fail is there are no customer management standards. So we have great ideas, but we don't build those ideas on standards. And standard, something that it's very common, with us. And I've seen this working with clients across different sectors as a CX consultant, is there are no standards. So you have lofty ideas of your vision, of your mission, and the kind of brand, how you want customers to perceive you, but you've not articulated the promise to the customer. By that, I mean your customer management standards, whether they're your customer service standards, customer success standards, customer value management standards, customer relationship management standards, or customer experience standards. There are no standards. So there's no foundation for your centricity initiatives to rest on, and that's why they fail. Inadequate education happens every single time. We do it once and then we go to sleep. There's no consistent education. Now, and I would explain in the case study why that is an issue. And then we have lack of responsibility. It's not my job. Because again, if you look at the thread, silos are there. There are no standards. There's no education to everyone within an organization, what the standards mean, what the initiatives mean, what they would lead to, what is the interpretation of initiative on different job roles, how do you execute it, how do you measure the outcome, where do we go from here? There's a lack of education when it comes to driving and implementing customer centricity from an initiatives perspective, right? And then of course, multiple cultures. You have people coming in from, and this is again the case study I'm going to share with you next, different organizations, different cultures, different things that you're used to. So it's hard to pin down an initiative that will drive customer centricity. So I'm going to share with you this case study now. And it was a case study. So this was a startup role for me. Banking was I was in banking for 10 years. And I was headhunted by another bank to go kick off their customer experience team. Now at the time, so KPMG, I don't know if KPMG does this in Ghana. but there is something they do every year here in Nigeria. It's called the KPMG Banking Industry Customer Satisfaction Survey, KPMG BICSS. So they do this every year, and then they rank banks, right? So at the time, the bank that I moved into, so I was headhunted from the bank where I was. So we had the bank, I'd worked with the team, we were number one, had stayed number one for a while. And then this other bank came calling, and the mandate was wanted to improve the rating. That was the mandate. That was the reason why I was hired, to be honest. Improve satisfaction rating. So you may say, yes, misplaced priorities, but the truth is that's what their focus, that's what the goal was. So you work with the goal of the business in mind. So what was the problem the business had? Now, this bank is currently the fourth largest bank in Nigeria. They've been around for a long time. And I also did some research on their continental ranking for Pan-African ranking. It's the 23rd largest bank in Africa because they have yes, it's a Nigerian bank, but they have footprints across Africa. And over 400 branches, and this is me putting in mild, then we factor in cash centers, branches that are in customer locations, customer office and all of that, over 400 branches. And the ranking was number 16. The ranking for the bank was number 16. So the reason why, I was headhunted from the bank where I was very simple. The focus, like I said, was to improve that industry ranking. Unfortunately, bragging rights is more important to the banks here than actual experience. If I'm just chipped, I don't know how it is in Ghana, but the truth is everybody wants bragging rights. Who did what first? Who is the best, right? And not really much focus on the customer and the kind of experience that they have. So what was done? This is just to share with you in summary what, the team that I put together is a team effort, but I don't like to use the I word because it was a team effort. So collectively, what we did here was a number of things. So we had the mandate, which was wanted to improve the rating. So we needed to first of all find out what is the reason why the bank is number 16 in the KPMG BICSS. So we did some study of the report, and first of all, we did a survey and did voice of customer in two ways, or rather it was more than two ways actually. So we did surveys to understand. We did ethnographic research. By ethnographic research, I mean literally went round the branches, sat in I would resume in the branches and sit there, just observe the interactions between customers and employees. We did surveys, the typical surveys that were already being done, just tweak the questions a bit to give a full picture of the state of customer experience affecting satisfaction rating in the KPMG BICSS. We spoke with the employees, focused on the front line, and then we reviewed the KPMG report. So what we found out was they consistently go to 10 states in Nigeria. So we just focus on those 10 states. We're very strategic about it because the point at the end of the day is we wanted to improve the rating. That was the mandate. That was the business problem at the time. So we did all of that research. And what we found out, there was a merger at some point in the bank. The bank was a small bank and had acquired, Yvonne, I'm sure Yvonne knows what I'm talking about. Now, the small bank and had acquired a large old generation bank. So you had old school and new school. You had a clash of cultures and you had different cultures. We observed that. So when we went to the new generation bank branches, things were a bit different. When we went to the legacy branches, things were also different. So for us, what we now did was realize that if everybody is doing the same thing and customers are getting the same, because notice that the branches the new generation branches did really well in the KPMG BICSS. So it was very clear that the key focus was, yes, there were other issues across other channels, but the key focus was the branches, because the KPMG was interfacing with actual customers. Sometimes they actually visit some of the branches. So what we did was we designed what we call the SOS, right? Standards of service, the 10 of them. So we designed the standards of service and we did a walkthrough. All the head office departments, all the HODs, we went around every single one. I recall it was quite the task, but we needed to get buy-in to consolidate the cultures and to break silos. So we went round all the departments, making the presentation. What does this mean? So what we did was we took the 10 standards of service and broke it down for different job roles. So when you see a standard that says 5 minutes response time, we broke it down into what does this mean for risk management? What does it mean for customer service? What does it mean for cash and teller? What does it mean for funds transfer, for IT? We broke it down to all of credits. We broke it down to all of, and we made those presentations and we got input as well. So we've had a way of bringing everybody together. Now, the next thing, that we did was we went to HR and we discussed with them. They wanted to know if we had gotten buy-in from the head of department. We had done that, we had ticked that box. So we went to HR, and what HR did with us was to inculcate the standards into processes. That's HR and operations, right? So we got them to inculcate standards into processes and cross-functional performance management for the entire bank. So even at the time, the MD had said, yes, we need to improve satisfaction. We were able to latch onto that brief to bring this into performance management for the front line. That's where we started with the front line. So we had cases where after we had launched, some cases were escalated to us about what happened to a customer, and our reference in terms of what penalties should apply, we would refer to the standards of service, the SOS, we used to call it then the SOS. Right, so we did that with performance management, and then we launched. So it was a big launch. We went round 10 states, like literally went round. So it was a three-pronged approach. I had a team back in Lagos, where state where I'm based. I had a team. When we pick a state, I had a team that would call at least 200 customers over the phone to get their feedback. While they were calling, I myself, and it was one person in my team who traveled with me, Ewan, that's his name. So we would travel to the states. We'll go around all the branches in the states and visit all the branches. We visited all the cash centers. We visited the high net worth customers, about 20 of them. And when we were done, the last day was now a Saturday. We had like a town hall meeting. Now in that town hall meeting, we started with the good stuff. We've been around. Thank you for the hospitality, for welcoming us. And this town hall meeting was with the directors in all the regions, from the highest to the lowest person, everybody. Sometimes we had to do like 3-4 sessions in a day, back to back, and we had that town hall meeting where we thanked them for the hospitality, and then we'd share the great things we had seen, the different, well, we took pictures, so it was fun. They liked the energy, and we'd share pictures of all the great things we saw in the branches, the great things and everything, the feedback from customers that we had called the positives, and everybody cheers and the accolades, and we clap for people, and then we'll now flip it over, but negative. So when the other side of the feedback, you could see you had people calling out their colleagues. Why would you do a thing like that? Why would you? So literally we took a step back and let them do the appraising, evaluate the performance themselves. So when they were done, right, with all the back and forth and all of that, and then we now came out to say there's a way we can fix this. And they said how? And we announced the standards of service. And that everything that you have said, does this align? They were like, yes, 100% it aligns. They were very happy that this will work, this will help, this will drive us. So we did this for the 10 states. We went round. And then we now started a continued engagement. Every week, we launched a service blog where we put up great things happening at the branches, great feedback from customers, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what's working, what's not working. It was very engaging, right? There's a lot people were really talking about the change and the culture shift. But we were focused on experience at one channel, which was the branch. That was a critical point for KPMG BICs at the time, right? So what was the result we achieved? Yes, we launched the standards, we laid the foundation. There was improved experience. Definitely, the atmosphere was amazing. The energy was good. We had the trainings that we did, the town hall meetings. We had people reassigned because during our visits, we found that some people were not the right fit for the front line. So we had people reassigned. Again, we had the standards as a backdrop to have those conversations. So it was quite easy. We laid the right foundation. We had people reassigned. Employee engagement was really good. We're getting direct messages from people in the branches, and it was coordinated. Customer engagement was amazing. Customers went on social media on a few instances and saying, oh, this bank has changed, they have improved. And we obviously, because we embedded the standards into performance management, the processes were also reviewed. So this was less than a year I was on that role. I stayed in that company for less than a year, but within that 9 months of my stay, and by the time they repeated the survey while I was there, the bank had moved up 3 steps. And this was a focus on 10 states. So the next thing that needed to happen was we're now going to scale to the other regions. Dormant accounts reduced and generated revenue. It's been a while. I can't remember how much it was, but it was in the millions from the reactivations done. And we're reactivating accounts under the guise, why did you leave? It was all about bad service. And we're like, what are the things we're doing? Now. So we're sharing our success stories with customers, how we have been going, how we are now improving experience and why they should come back to us. And we're able to reduce the account dormancy at the time. So we kind of balanced it out in terms of following the mandates to increase industry ranking position, and also what's the need for the bank from a revenue perspective. So I'll leave you with these tips today. I'm hoping that the case study I have shared, an actual experience of mine, will kind of give you a sense of the direction of where these tips are coming from. The first thing that needs to happen if you want to drive a customer-centric culture, deliver CX, is have a blueprint. I have not seen to date any company as a professional or as a consultant that has a customer experience blueprint. I don't know if this is the case in Ghana. There's no blueprint. What is your customer experience aspiration? Is it documented in line with customer journey? I'm talking about you articulating your channels, articulating customer actions, business actions, your front stage, your backstage, and articulating the connected process and the connected KPIs. I've done this with clients. In fact, the client we did this for at the consulting firm, the clients in the retail and manufacturing. They literally is like their Bible right now. They've had it printed out in flex material. It is on the wall in their conference room. Everybody's life is around it. It is a magnetic pull if you want to drive that. Like the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. What are you aiming to do? And it's not just one statement. Sometimes we just have one statement and we all move on. It's beyond one statement. It is so deep. It is so, so deep. And then when you think about the blueprint, you now need to figure out if you're going to drive centric culture to deliver CX, think about the voices that you capture. You need to capture the voice of your business. By business, I mean voice of your product, voice of your revenue, voice of your brand, and competitive advantage. Very important. How does all of that play into your blueprint? Because the culture that you're wanting to change by delivering CX, at the end of the day, needs to impact the business. The third thing is I've talked about standards. You have to have your standards. Create standards to help you implement the blueprint. That's what we did at the bank I'm talking about in the case study. We had the clear blueprint. We designed the standard. The next thing that we did was we took those standards to HR and operations, and it was embedded in processes so that it helps us to deliver on the blueprint. It was embedded in performance management. And then we use that as well for new employee induction. Remember that I said in the case I shared, it was an issue of 2 cultures. So we need to make sure anybody coming in after this whole revamp and transformation, that person understands the culture and leaves whatever culture he or she has at the door. So we had to address it as well as it was with people that we had in the organization, also those who were coming in. And then share responsibilities, hold people accountable. That's the beautiful thing about having a customer experience blueprint. You can clearly see who is responsible for what. And then again, you can connect the KPIs. So when you're telling somebody in marketing that satisfaction is your KPI, or you're telling someone from what Yvonne presented, the value proposition, when you think about the customer pains and gains and jobs to be done, right? Think about it. The people who even designed the product now know that the key KPI for them is satisfaction. Because at the end of the day, if you don't design the product right, you end up inflicting pain on the customer. There's no gain. So it becomes very easy for you to assign cross-functional KPIs. And then the 7th tip that I would say is when you've gone this far, you need to routinely and frequently communicate. Communicate, engage, and don't stop engaging employees, and use different formats, pictures, videos. And these days we have so much going for us in terms of digital age, right? You can use videos, all sorts. We used all sorts at the time. It was really engaging. It was so engaging. And another key thing, another tip is to reward people, recognize, and what we don't like to talk about, penalize. You have to penalize people that default. It's a very serious issue. So while you reward and recognize some folks, penalize those that don't comply with the standards and the blueprint, because you're driving a culture change. So you need to get everybody who's on the line out of the picture, and then commit. It takes time. It takes time. Commit to the standards and the blueprint. And it's not just at the CX level every single person. So to the CEO, to the CFO, to everybody. So if you see, when you now take this into performance management, process-wide, perspective, inculcating your standards into your process-wide, your bank business-wide processes, you now begin to put systems in place to make sure nobody defaults. So think about like your approvals for payment using your ERP. There's level 1, there's level 2, there's level 3. That's the type of structure that will come in with implementing and driving your strategy. So my final thoughts, just to sum everything up, I've said a whole lot, but I would say, yes, you can drive a customer-centric culture through CX. It's very possible, but it is possible when you design your CX blueprint, define your CX standards, inculcate your standards into your operations and performance management, and then hold everyone accountable for CX as it relates to their job role. And it's something that we do at my company, at Niche Customer Experience and Consulting Firm. We do this for our clients, and we're happy to walk anyone through who really wants to drive customer centricity through CX. Thank you. Happy to connect as well online. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Can
Debbie.
you hear me?
Indeed, we need to design
Or have
a
I just been talking away? Oh my God.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh no, looks like I've just been talking.
Oh, Debbie, we can't hear you.
We can hear you loud and clear, Debbie.
You can hear me? Oh, right,
Yes,
great.
we can hear
Yes,
you.
we can hear you.
Okay, cool. So I need to switch power source. Just give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay. So that was indeed informative. We need to have a CX blueprint. We need to share responsibilities and hold people accountable. I think in our parts of the world, we know how to share responsibilities, but when it comes to holding people accountable, most of our colleagues in our organizations end up playing the blame game, which doesn't help us resolve the issues or move forward with the right solutions. And then in the long run, we are actually not improving on our customer experience. So thank you so much, Debbie, for that. The chat box is there for any questions we may have, but kindly turn on your mics and let's give Debbie a virtual hand of applause. Thank you so much, Debbie. That was packed.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have Loretta. She wasn't able to present her CX word of the day. Yvonne saved the day, but if she would like to add up to what Yvonne presented, we'll be most grateful. We can still put our questions in the chat box. The meeting hasn't ended, so that we can get a chance to ask them. So Loretta, are you ready, please?
Jemima, can you hear me now?
Yes, very clearly.
Oh,
We can
good.
hear you.
Okay. All right. So, good evening, everyone. And sorry about what happened initially. I was having a few technical hitches. I'm just trying to, Jemima, can you help me with my slide, please? Because I'm unable to share screen. Jemima, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you share my slide? I'm unable to share.
Have you sent it to me?
Yes, okay.
Okay, I think you can share.
Yes,
Okay.
okay. So I think Yvonne touched on basically everything, but I'll just add a little to what she spoke about. Can we go to the second slide? Okay, so you can't talk about value proposition without focusing on the value proposition canvas, because that is what will help you to understand the customer and be able to design a product or service to satisfy the customer's needs. A lot of value propositions are unable to meet the customer needs because sometimes we don't understand the customer's profile. That's why we have this diagram there, the one in the circle representing the customer profile, and then the one in the square representing the value proposition, or you can call it the value map. So I'll just touch a bit on each of the sections and then we can call it a night, if I can put it that way. Okay, so for the customer jobs, it's just focusing on the problem that the customer is trying to resolve. Okay, I can just use a banking transaction, for example. Maybe you have someone who has just moved into Ghana and is looking for a bank to do transactions such as making a deposit or making a withdrawal. So he's looking for a bank to sort him out. The pain is probably the customer going through so much traffic to get to a bank to do a transaction, or even at the point when he arrives at the banking hall, he has to join a long queue. But if you are able to understand the job that the customer wants or has put on the table, and you understand the pain that the customer is trying to eliminate or alleviate, then you'll be able to design a product or service to satisfy the customer, to give the customer that gain that he's looking for. As you can see, a round face with a wide smile, that is what we are all looking for. That is what our customers are looking for. So you don't just get up and design products and services for customers, but you need to understand them. You need to know what they want. That is why some customers will prefer a particular vendor as opposed to yours, because that vendor is giving him that satisfaction that he desires or wants to derive. I'll just give a few takeaways for value proposition. There's a whole lot that we can talk about, but because of time, I will just touch on a few takeaways and then we can end it there. So a company's value proposition tells the customer the number one reason why he should do a business with him, or he should purchase a particular product from him over other competitors. Okay, and then a successful value proposition should be persuasive and help turn a prospect into a paying customer. But it's not just about turning a prospect into a paying customer, but the customer being loyal to you and trusting that you will be able to satisfy his or her needs. Okay, so we are not just looking at customers buying from us, but we want to win their loyalty. We want our customers to trust us, so that irrespective of whichever competitor breaks into the market, the customer will still love to do business with you because of what you are offering. So value proposition is just looking at you, the company, or you, the vendor, being able to deliver what you promised the customer. Okay, so basically that's it for value proposition. And I apologize again for the technical hitch that I experienced earlier. I would have loved to add a little more flesh to it, but we will go with this for now. Okay, thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Loretta. And it's fine, these things happen, but thank you so much for throwing more light on the term value proposition. We'll take note of it and use it in our daily customer experience interactions. Thank you once again. We have a few questions and we'll just read them quickly so we can move on as the time is already gone. Amanda would like to know, Debbie, what would you say was your most challenging moment whilst on the project?
Oh, that was getting the old school guys on board. So I was coming from a new generation bank where everything is like fast paced, like let's go, let's go, let's go, right? And moving to a bank where you have a mix of that and the old. Now, unfortunately, the old guys were the key influencers. They were like the power core in the new bank I moved to. So my greatest challenge was just unlearning a lot of things I had learned in Generation Bank, where you have to push and drive people. And I had to learn how to be political, how to massage egos, to get results, right? So instead of telling you what to do, I would ask you what you would like, what outcome you would like to see. And then I work from that outcome to build a rapport with you and get my point across and also get buy-in. That was a huge lesson for me. And it was a good lesson because when I now left that bank and moved to telecommunications, telecoms is very informal. So I had no challenges mixing and just understanding people and building rapport. So it helped me to build that skill. I think that's what I would say my challenge was on that project. It was just getting the old school guys, old school guys on board. It was quite it took toll.
I can imagine, but you sailed through it and you are here giving us very essential tips today. Thank you for answering that question. Amanda, I hope you're okay with the answer you got.
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. So our next question is from Kojo. Kojo wants to know, can frontliners drive the CX culture if leadership is not responsive?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. And I'll tell you why. And this is where we get it wrong in Africa, to be honest. We keep waiting for leaders to act. But the truth is, and I've said this on a couple of other platforms, doing business in Africa is hard. I'm sure in Ghana it's the same thing too. It's so hard. There's so many things that you grapple with, right? So all you understand is get the money. As a CEO, as a leader, all you understand is get the money. That's all they understand. So if you're in the front line, you know that, and I'm going to use take cash and tell and customer service in banking to be precise. If you know that how you attend to a customer when you're handling their debit or credit transaction will determine if they come back, then you do it differently because you need to keep that job. If your branch is not profitable, your branch will be shut down. What will happen to you? So it's important that it's the work is actually the front line, because I'll tell you what has happened with me in my career. I've noticed that when at the front line, you are committed to drive it and there are results. Leadership sees the results and now uses you as an example for other people to follow. They now use you because they can see the picture end to end. She did this, this was the result. Everybody follow through, HR follow through. Like that's the behavior from what I've seen, even working with clients. When something works, everybody dives in. So I would say the front line, the foot soldiers, and then the middle management need to drive it. Leadership will define, but you need to drive it. It's the result that leadership will latch onto and respond to. That's the, I don't know how it is in Ghana, but that's how it is. And a few people have interacted in other African countries. It's like that as well.
Thank you, Debbie. Kojo, I believe you're okay, that answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much. That was very insightful. Thanks.
All right. Kojo actually also posted a comment and he said, great nuggets on CX, very insightful, especially the case study, very pivotal. Sorry, the case study, I'm not getting that well. Very pivotal is the role of leadership. Okay, he wants to say the role of leadership is very pivotal. Yes, so that was Kojo's That was Kojo's comment to all of us. Thank you, Kojo. Now, next on our agenda.
I think there's still questions, unless we're done.
Yes, remember, there are some questions in the box.
We're done. Right, okay.
There are some questions?
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry, let me just, my machine is acting up. Just a minute, please.
I can just respond if that's fine, if you can't see it.
Okay, is it from age? Is it easy to adopt a CX culture if the vision and the global strategy of the organization are not aligned with?
Okay, I see it. So is it easy to adopt CX culture if the vision and the global strategy are not aligned with CX? The global, and this, coincidentally, I posted something about this morning with a video. The vision and the strategy of your organization is your primary objective. It's your number one objective, right? Now, if you're thinking of CX culture, you need to put CX culture in context. Put it in context. So if your organization has a particular vision and strategy, your CX culture needs to align with it, not the vision align with CX culture. So in some cases, if you're told, I'm trying to think of an example now that would work. So I'll give you an example of my time in telecommunications, right? You have budget season. Anything outside that budget, right, will not be approved. You have to wait for the next financial year. So while in telecommunications, we had a problem. The problem was that it was a 21 million subscriber network. There was a high cost to serve, and the telco at the time had developed a self-service channel to reduce cost to serve. What had happened after a year of developing the channel is that only 300,000 customers were using the self-service platform out of 21 million. So there was generally waste of funds on developing the platform, and then cost to serve was still high. So the KPI for the business for that year was we need to reduce cost to serve at all costs. What we did as customer experience, and budgets had gone already, we had done all of that, signed, sealed, delivered. We now took, what is the problem with the self-service channel? How can we drive customers there? Now, we took that initiative, we did our voice of customer, and we found out that there was a lot of customer effort with the channel. We did two things. We did current states map, we did competition map as well. So we took the 3 telcos in Nigeria, MTN, Airtel, Glo. We used their self-service platforms to understand why ours was different. And we saw that in the other telcos, what you can do with 1 click, in our own company, we do it with 4 to 5 clicks. So customers rather just call. It was easier for them to just call. Now we took this thing to the CTO and the CEO. It was not on the budget, right? But they approved. Why did they approve? They approved because that initiative, that CX initiative, was going to solve a business problem. Now, when we were done, it actually solved the problem. Within 1 year, the users went from 300,000, it was a whole initiative, and that's another topic for another day. Within 1 year, it went from 300,000 users to 8 million subscribers. So it grew. When we finished that, we now created the service standards for the telco, and we called it the 7 affirmations. In the 7 affirmations, we used that project as a case study so management could see. We presented to different, same thing that I did at the other bank, but I used a project, a focus for the business to approach it, a different approach altogether. I don't know if that makes sense. So don't expect your company to adopt a CX culture. No. Use the vision and strategy for your company to define your idea of a CX culture so that you're not going out of context and people are asking you questions like, what are you doing in that department anyway? Right? So I think that's important. And then I think there's one more question. What tips will you give us on breaking down silos? Engage, like I shared in the case study. we did the blueprint. So blueprinting brings everybody together. In the blueprinting, we do this with clients. And when we want to start a project, we bring in all the heads of departments. Everybody sits in a room. Tell us how you serve customers. How does your customer journey look like? Right? And when someone's like, oh, it comes to me first. No, it's me before you. So that already starts to happen. When that starts to happen, we do a workshop. It's a whole day where we now show you from customer's journey from beginning to the end, and we show all the departments where they come in. And they're like, okay, that just breaks it. It does every single time. When you're sharing feedback with on customer, voice of customer, share with everybody. You cannot take decisions without your stakeholders. Pull everybody in. I like to see CX as project management role. Pull everybody in. You're not the fixer. That's the truth. You're not the fixer. You don't have the solutions. They have the solutions. But you bring everybody's recommendation in alignment. That's my recommendation, to break silos. Breaking silos means you need to break your own silo, move out, engage, speak, listen more than you speak, be partners. I hope I was able to answer that question. I'm sure we're out of time. Yeah. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, you are on point, Debbie. Thanks, as always.
Esther, yay! Sorry, when I hear Esther, when Esther and I talk, it's like it's village matter. So don't forgive me, I've changed my accent.
See you. Sister.
Sister. Yeah. I've changed my accent. Now it feels like home. Hey, I've not heard your voice since.
Thank you so much, Debbie, for the responses. I think we have one last one. Okay, the person saying CX is an enabler. I think we can end our question session there. Or do we have any more? Okay, I think that's it. So next on our agenda, we have our head of PR and media. He has a few words for us on our website. So I hand over to him, Mr. JP. Is he on call, please?
Hi, JP, we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now. Thank you.
Great. That's been an insightful presentation so far. Thank you very much, Debbie. And thank you, Jemima, as well, and Loretta for the word of the day. I wouldn't take too much of the time, just 5 minutes, only 5 minutes. I'd love for us to do a short, lovely exercise right away. So kindly confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can, JP.
Okay, great. So I'm sure some of you have seen the emails we've been sending back and forth and the communication we've been putting in place, and would love to do an even better job. So in order to help us, we will need you all to sign up on the website so we can consolidate all your information. As soon as you sign up on the website, all your information is synchronized across and we have it right there. So if you don't have access to the link, it is cxpghana.com. That is www.cxpghana.com. If you can all see it and you haven't signed up, please just take 5 minutes with me so I'll help you sign up right away. So when you go into the website, on the homepage, you get to see these videos with the highlights from our annual conference and a message from CXPA, as well as some blog posts that we shared earlier. In order to sign up or log in, all you have to do is just go up here to this top right corner and click on the register button. If you're on a mobile phone, you would see a shorter menu icon. So please, if you could, we have 26 participants. I'd love for us to have at least 26 signups before this session today. So please, if you could go to your phone or your computer, whatever device you're using right away, and walk through with me, I'd be very grateful. So what you have to do is just go to the register button right here on the website, and you'd see this short form that you'd have to fill. Enter your username, the preferred username that we'll be using to address you, your first name and last name, your email address for contacts, and WhatsApp as well for communication. Some of you may be in the WhatsApp group already, and we definitely have some more communication to do as well. So I want to make sure we have the right phone number. We couldn't get the right phone numbers, so we couldn't add some people into WhatsApp. So all you have to do is just go to phone number and then add up your email, your phone number, sorry. And then under password, please choose your preferred password. After that, all you have to do is click register right here and you will receive a confirmation in your email. Are we all following through with the process?
Yes, all good, JP.
Yes, yeah.
Please raise your hand or give a thumbs up if you've been able to successfully sign up. Okay, I see Nutoli has signed up successfully. CXP Ghana. Oh, see, okay, we see a couple more hands coming up. So guys, this exercise is very, very, very important because our president will be briefing us on a couple activities that we have coming up concerning membership. And this would be very, very crucial to us in order to communicate with you. So please take just 5 minutes to help us go through this. On the website, you'd be able to do so much more than just read the post. We have a learning center where we'll be compiling all our learning material. You can go there right now to learn a few things that we have shared earlier, and we have way more coming up as well. Under the news session on the website as well, you get to see updates of events coming up as well and some more info. Concerning today's Hangout, you could check out some more details on the website as well within the news post. And on the post, you'd get to see the lovely bios of all our resource persons today as well. So if you want to know more about them and get in touch with them as well, you should be able to do that as well through the website. In our shop section, we've got a book, Customer What by Ian Golden. Ian Golden spoke at our recent event, and if you were with us, you would have got some great insights from it. You can get some more from this book as well, which is available on the website. There will be more books and more educational material, more things available for sale. So from time to time, please do well to check out the shop. We will also send reminders when new items are in the shop. On the Who We Are page, you'd get a brief of what CXP Ghana is about if you'd want to know more, and also get to see who the members are, the executive members who have been helping us run things. You can also get in touch with us through our social media handles as well and read our bios. So please do take some time just to visit the website, get to know us some more, and just get more familiar with the website, because as time goes on, as we start to drop more material, more educational material, and open up the membership, we'll be doing more managements through the website. So emails have been popping and I've seen a couple signups already, and I'm very grateful for you all. Thank you so much for your time. And I'd like to hand over to the MC now.
Thank you, JP. I'm sure by the close of this meeting, the majority of us would have registered. So next on our agenda, we are going to take our announcements and closing remarks. And this is going to be done by our Honorable President, Madam Esther Dokwa Ofosuhene. So I hand over to Madam Esther for our announcements and closing remarks. Thank you.
Yes, good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us this evening. I mean, the start of the program was very hectic. It was raining cats and dogs here, and it was terrible, but thankfully, we've come to the end of this program. Debbie, thank you so much, sis. I mean, we all know it's a sis this team, and I'm very grateful that you are such a busy woman, but you had time to share your thoughts with us. Now we appreciate and we understand why we are saying that you are the top 50, top 20 global thought leaders on customer experience. So thank you so much. Loretta, thank you very much. You had your challenges, but I'm grateful, and we are all grateful that you made it to take us through the word of the day. Jemima, amazing. Thank you very much for handling this session for us. So today, like we said at the start, is the last Hangout session. We'll try to rest all of us in December. I think from January to November, our brains have been heavily active. And so in December, we want to calm down, enjoy the festivities, relax our brains, plan for next year. With that in mind, at CXP Ghana, I think on the onset, the very first corporate hangout, a lot of questions came, and one of them was, what about membership? How is it going to be like? Yes, we met with our council, we got a lot of, inputs across, did some voice of member, like Debbie has already told us, voice of customer, so we did a little voice of member, tested to see what the thoughts would be from our members on membership. And so with that, I can see that the time is fast spent. I will just quickly go through what we have. Please, after this session, check your emails. All communication will be going through, mainly through email from next year. The reason being that we are now about 400 members. We cannot take more on WhatsApp. So we need to find an alternative to engage each other virtually. But until that is done, we would have to move on by communicating through emails. So please sign up so you can get all the information from January on email. I'd like to quickly share my screen so that I can take you through just a short presentation on the membership criteria and fees. So we can think about it, ruminate on it, because it will start in January. Prepare ourselves as we budget for the year ahead. So we are saying that we have different categories of membership. The first category is the member. A member of CXP Ghana, we are saying, is a person with at least one of the following qualifications. One is a CXP Certified Customer Experience Professional qualification, or an equivalent CX certification from a credible organization as recognized by CXP Ghana. So there are a lot of certifications out there aside the global CXPA certification. What we are going to do at CXP Ghana is to sit and recognize some of these certifications as what we would want to see as a certified customer experience in Ghana in the term as a certified customer experience professional. We have CCEM, we have some from Qualtrics, there's some from Medallia. There are lots of certifications out there. And so once we align and we approve and recognize these certifications, we will share them with you so that anybody who has such certifications or qualifications can move to become a member of CXP Ghana. And when we say member, we mean full member. We just took out the word full. For fees, we are saying that registration for a full member is 100 cedis, non-refundable. Everybody who's already registered between now and December has gotten a free registration. So this will start from January 2022. So we are all registered members of the association. For a full member, annual membership fee is 1,000 cedis for the 12 months that will be in. And so 1,000 Ghana cedis for full member registration. Then we have associate members. So who are associates? We call them associates. Associate is a person with any of the following qualifications. You are an uncertified CXPA member or an uncertified CS professional. However, you have a degree or diploma in any business or management subject. You have 2 to 3 years experience in any area of customer experience, and you currently have a role in an organization as an officer, manager, director, or practitioner. You are an associate. If you hold a certificate of participation in any approved CXP Ghana Masterclass, you are an associate. If you are a non-degree holder in business management, etc., with over 5 years experience in marketing, public relations, human resource, and any of these ones, you practice them or you've learned about them, and you hold a role as an officer or a manager in any organization, you are classified as an associate in CXP Ghana. Registration for an associate is also 100 cedis non-refundable. Annual membership fee is 600 cedis for a full calendar year. That is for an associate. And I do see that most of us would fit in this definition. And so most of us would be associate members of CXP Ghana come January 2022. Then we have affiliates. So who are affiliates? We are saying that our affiliates are people or persons with one of in these categories. You are tertiary students and you are interested in customer experience and learning more about it. You are a graduate in transition. What we mean is national service. You are undertaking your attachment and whatnot. Or you have less than 2 years working experience in any related field. So you are still up and coming. Maybe you are a contract staff and whatnot. These category of persons will fit under affiliate members of CXP Ghana Association. And we are bearing in mind the fact that these are students, these are now entering the full working environment and that do not have a lot to offer. And so we are saying registration fee for this category is 50 cedis non-refundable and annual membership fee is 150 cedis. All these categories of membership come with associated benefits. We will upload these benefits on our website and also share it by email to all our members so that you know which benefits we have to offer you as a CXP Ghana member. The last category is honorary. Honorary, I mean, you are old in the industry, you are an advocate. Even if you are not a customer experience or customer service person, you are a customer advocate, and we are very well aware of that. You've made significant contributions to customer experience or customer service, or you are a senior, you are in a senior management position, you are defined as an honorary member. Or if you are awarded as a CX Person of the Year, you are automatically an honorary member. And this membership is conferred by CXP Ghana. And so we would have to assess you before we can give you that honorary member title. Registration and annual membership is not applicable to our honorary members. It's an honor that they will work with us and help us drive customer experience adoption in the country. We also have packages for corporate customers. However, we are still cleaning it up. It will also come on the website and also via email to our corporate customers that we have currently. We have a few corporate memberships that have already signed on. And so these communications will go to you as well. This is what I had to share with all of us. We know it has been hard, it has been tedious, but it has been very exciting for us at CXP Ghana. And it has been very exciting for all our members as well. We've had an exciting year, very insightful. We've had the likes of Debbie and the others, our predecessors, taking us through their thoughts on customer experience, both full-time customer experience, EX, DX, CX in marketing. It has been very exciting and very insightful for all of us. Next year, we have a full marketing calendar. A lot of wonderful activities are coming out. Please make sure you check all our emails and you go on your website, you log in and read a lot more information we'll be sharing up there. A lot of articles are coming out, educational articles are coming out. We are putting together some master classes with a lot of modules that you can take so you have a full understanding of customer experience. We are working on the exam preparations so that you can go and sit and write for your CCXP or any of the customer experience certifications you want to take. And we are working with other international institutions to get an affordable certification payments for us. So we are working very, very hard at the back end to ensure that our members are very happy with us and are proud to be members of the Customer Experience Professionals Ghana Association. Please watch this space. If you don't see us like this for the month, don't worry. We are always with you through emails and the WhatsApp group. Also, if there's any important communication, we'll share it with you. But please take notes, enjoy yourself, but be wary. COVID is still out there. I hear there's a new variant that has come. Let's protect ourselves during this Yuletide. Let's protect ourselves and our families, and let's enjoy ourselves as well. Thank you very much for your time. Back to you, Jemima.
Thank you so much, Esther. Indeed, it's been a very interesting meeting, and it's been a delight being your host for the evening. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm really grateful. I believe that we are ending the year in grand style. It's been a very great meeting. And unfortunately, it's our last meeting for the year. So we would want to wish every member a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we will see you next year, January. Like Esther said, watch this space. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great weekend.